So we have our Champions Cup finalists. It's Toulouse versus Leinster. Harlequins here, however, gave a decent account of themselves, fired plenty of shots, gave Toulouse plenty to think about, and it was a cracking game, a really good advert for rugby, very, very entertaining. I think the right side won, but again, Quins did themselves fairly proud in the end, although they started off a little bit naively. When they had their first attacking set, they only relied on one back to clear out wide and they got counter-rucked. So they did sort that out in the second half, but in that first half, the rucking wasn't quite good enough. They were getting disrupted far too much and Toulouse were better in that area. So fair play to them. And the first try went to Toulouse, very well deserved. Malia nearly scored off a crossfield kick, but Flamand, who really gave Cunningham South a tough day in that line-out, robbed him in the line-out. Quins very bold with their line-outs, going to the back quite a lot, and I think Toulouse knew this. But anyway, he gets robbed in the line-out, and then Cunningham South again gets out-muscled as he tries to hold up Meafu, and he gets his arms free and creates the try-scoring offload. LaBelle with an easy finish out wide. So a little bit naive from Harlequins there, getting schooled by Toulouse early on with that 5-0 lead. And again, in the second 5 minutes there, more poor stuff from Quins. Murley, a needless tackle in the air on the chase to Kinghorn, and they kicked to Kinghorn a fair bit in this first half on restarts. I don't know why, because he is their best aerial player. And Will Evans gets badly dummied by Dupont. He should know a bit better. Quins are on the ropes in this first 10 minutes and they're inches away from scoring again. And maybe Toulouse could even have finished off Harlequins in this opening salvo, but they cough up a few penalties, which stops that. And the penalties is something that will worry them going into the final. But apart from that, they were good in pretty much every other area. But that lets Quins get into their attack, and the Quins attack can be fantastic. So many switches of direction, so much deception. They definitely struggle to stop Harlequins on the gain line because of that deception all game, and that is something Harlequins are very, very good at. And they give the ball to Marcus Smith. There are players out wide, but a brilliant dummy and acceleration to go through 3 red defenders. And we have a game on here. So Harlequins stop the rot with a try, so 12-5. So in this game, literally every entry into the 22 at the beginning was a try. We knew it was going to be an exciting game, and it really did deliver. Definitely the best of the semi-finals for sure. Then a big play from Lewis Liner, who somehow gets a 50-22 pretty much from nothing, squeezes out the kick on halfway and pings it out into the 22, and the line-out drive is perfect. They completely bypassed the counter drive from Toulouse and absolutely fly over. Toulouse completely asleep there. So it's 12-all, and a really ugly conversion strike from Smith misses them going in the lead, but at least they've stopped the rot and it's 12-all early on. What a great opening 25 minutes. But on 26 minutes, it's that man Cunningham South who gets in trouble once again. He had such a torrid start to this game. Flamand is the man again to mug him. But it is the counter-ruck pressure from Toulouse that creates the bobbly pass from Kerr. Cunningham South should have caught it and taken more care, but he doesn't. He nicks the ball off him, 17-12. And at this point, I'm making a note actually on Kinghorn's kicking. Now, Toulouse have a tricky decision here. Kinghorn is the better all-round back 3 player. He's got a better passing game. He's got a better running game. But his goal-kicking game is not as good as Thomas Ramos. He's one of the best goal kickers in France, if not the best goal kicker in France. But he's not as good as Kinghorn. So they've played Kinghorn, and his kicking just curls off to the left every single time. So that means it's much harder to judge how the ball flies, as you have to judge the actual curve of the ball. And when you're kicking from one side, you're curving away from the post, making the target much narrower. And interestingly, when Ramos came on, he actually showed he wasn't such a good attacker, but he laser-straighted his wide conversion, if that makes any sense. Anyway, let's get back into it. The game is really popping, possession changing hands multiple times as the pace is just crazy quick. And on 32 minutes, it's another disaster for Harlequins. They're really pushing the envelope. This is what they do. Jack Walker throwing to the back a lot, but it is a lot harder. He overthrows really badly, and they go from a good attacking position to Marcus Smith overdrifting in defence. Costa steps in, and Toulouse go the length of the pitch, and Dupont scores. So an absolute killer one for Harlequins there. They could have maybe got back into the game, but that really stretched it out. So 24-12, and on 36 minutes, Toulouse closed the half out in absolute style with the best try of the match. Just brilliant attack offloading on the front foot, dominating their own ruck. Quins are just backpedaling and backpedaling in defence, and it's just a question of time before they splinter. Malvaca just spots it brilliantly. There's a space right up the middle of the ruck, so he picks and goes, and Dupont again just scoops up the ball to score again, 31-12. So a really exciting first half, both sides attacking quite well, but the mistakes coming from Quins, that counter-ruck pressure from Toulouse was really impressive, so a good lead for Toulouse. Quins need to come out firing, and they do. One area for them that was good all game was the scrum. Really interesting that they went for the young loose head Finn Baxter instead of the old head Joe Marler, and Baxter scrummaged so well, plus he's much better around the park anyway. I think this is the moment where you say Baxter is better than the old head Marler, and Baxter should leap the England pecking order as well, so let me know about that. But most importantly, Quins have sorted out their ruck clearance so much better in the second half, and Kerr noticeably has much cleaner ball. The phases are causing all sorts of problems because they can't slow them down, and Toulouse are leaking penalty advantages. It's on out wide, and this is a pretty cool moment. Dombrandt realises he's in the way of the pass and goes full Neo Matrix, bending over at the knees, and Smith fires the wide pass for a brilliant diving finish from Murley. Exactly what they needed after that tough first half, 31-19. And they keep on going. The momentum now is with Harlequins. You've got to love momentum in rugby matches. Such an advert for the sport of rugby this match was, and they're turning on the magic. Sublime running from the back three of Harlequins. Green is just unbelievable with his counter-attack, his offloads, Liner causing problems, Murley causing problems, and it's Green's third involvement of a flowing attack, which is a killer line from deep to slice straight through and score. Best try of the match for Harlequins by far, and they're back to within a score. Amazing comeback from Quins in this second half, 31-26. So at this point it's very much a case of who blinks first, and it is Harlequins that blinks, and it's Jack Walker again with a really bad error. Goes for a big clear out but catches Dupont on the head. Head on head, very clumsy, could easily have been a red. The ref's a bit lenient, it goes to a yellow, but there's only 14 minutes left, so he's off the pitch for most of the rest of the match. They go for the jugular straight away with a really solid maul and super quick hands from Aki and Intermac. And Malia powers through the scrambling Liner and Northmore. Maybe they could have done slightly better, but it's difficult when you're flying across like that. And that's the winning try, 38-26, again noting Ramos's laser straight conversion from out wide. Now Quins keep on fighting, it's a brave effort, they keep on attacking, but they're a man down, and then a really silly penalty from Joe Marler loses the game really. A slap on the head to Ramos, completely unnecessary. We know Joe Marler is a joker, but this was not a time to joke, and that was costly because I guess they could have scored and had time to score again, but still it was a long ask, and Toulouse win. They are deserving winners, 38-26. They were thoroughly tested here. So I think you'd say they go into the final maybe feeling a little bit more confident than Leinster, but it's going to be an absolute cracker. The two favourites go through, the two English sides go out, but Harlequins, I think, can have their heads held up a little bit higher as they gave it a good crack. Northampton really died with a whimper, even though they were close on the scoreboard. So if you like those sorts of videos where we go through the game and pick out some key moments, some key themes, do subscribe, do like, that would be great. Get your thoughts on this game below and how it's going to go in the final. And I'll catch you next time.